Raymond is a town in the county of Warner, located south of Lethbridge on Highway 52. Raymond is known for its annual rodeo and large Latter-day Saint population. Raymond was founded in 1901 by mining magnate and industrialist Jesse Knight, who named the town after his son Raymond. The town was incorporated as a village on May 30th, 1902, and then as a town 13 months later on July 1st, 1903. In 2016, the town population was recorded as 3,708 and offers residents and visitors such attractions as the Aquatic Center, the Victoria Sports Park, and the Raymond Community Center. On this episode of Where You Live, we pay a visit to the town of Raymond. Welcome to this episode of Where You Live. Today we will be looking at the town of Raymond. I'm here with my guest today, Cathy Needham. She is the Deputy Mayor of Raymond. Thank you, Cathy, for being here with me today. How are you doing?
I am so excited to talk to you about Raymond.
Great. And it's a beautiful place. I'm here already and looking around. There's so much here that Raymond has to offer. So tell me, what makes the town of Raymond unique?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, my question would be, how much time do we have? So we have so many amazing facilities. We have a province-wide pool that is phenomenal. We have a new Victoria Sports Park field that is second to none in the province. So proud of it and so proud of the uses that it fulfills. We have a $13 million water treatment plant. We're building a brand new seniors lodge facility, over $10 million. We just have so much going on here that it's hard to narrow down what makes us unique. One thing I will say, though, is that we have an amazing medical staff and facility here that's really unusual for small town, especially rural Alberta. A lot of areas really struggle to get medical staff, and we have an amazing clinic, a hospital. Like, we cover the gamut. We like to say from birth to the grave.
And in your opinion, what makes Raymond such a great place to live?
I think that it's based in people, in the drive for excellence that we have here. You know, we have our sports team, the Comets, just celebrated their 50th anniversary on Friday night. And we learned that we have won 7 provincial titles, the only high school in all of Alberta to have won 7 provincial titles. That's phenomenal for a town of just over 4,000 people. We have a drive to excel here, not just to do our best, but to do beyond our best. And I think that makes us different. We stand out, and we do it together. Like, we want to help other people do that as well.
Yeah, and being such a small town, that sounds like such a great opportunity for the youth and for the community to be involved as well. So sports, would you say that sports is a big part of the community?
Well, there was lots that would say that's the only part of the community. I don't think so. I see lots of other things. Being on council, you get to see lots of things that go on, but certainly sports is in the forefront. It's in the eye. We have our girls rugby won 7 provincial championships. We have rodeo winners. We have judo. We have the first judo dojo in all of Alberta, was started here in Raymond. We just have phenomenal history of sports. And I think that it builds leaders. I think that it builds goodness in people. I think that it draws us out as a community to be down there supporting the team. So yes, is the sport the forefront? For sure. But the whole underlying fabric is what builds us.
And tell me a little bit about your town celebration. What can visitors expect if they were to come and attend the celebration here in Raymond?
Well, we call it Heritage Days. We've gone to calling it Canada Day, our heritage, because we want to recognize that it is always on July 1st, except when July 1st falls on a Sunday. Then we either celebrate the day before or the day after. We don't do the July 1st on Sunday. But other than that, we do. And I actually chair the Heritage Days Committee. And it's a collaboration of several different organizations in the community. Our town grows by like 10 times. So being here for the parade is overwhelming. We do a road run, we do a pancake breakfast, we do ball games, we have Stampede. Raymond is home of the first Stampede, and that's pretty amazing. The first Stampede in all of Canada happened here in Raymond and was actually helped to seed the Calgary Stampede. We try to remind Calgary that it actually started here, but they don't like to hear from Little Raymond. But we are an amazing community, and we do so much cool stuff. We actually, even on the July 1st, have a free family fair that takes place at the Victoria Sports Park, over the top, and it's all free. And that's the fun thing. We have food trucks come, and that costs money, but generally kids can come, face painting, games, bands, like, it's a great time.
And Cathy, tell me a little bit about some upcoming events or things that visitors could expect or look forward to.
Well, we have a very unique history here in Raymond, and we've actually, as the Historical Resource Committee, have been working on some of the historical characteristics of Raymond. There are buildings that I'm learning about that I didn't know anything about that are amazing, that are one of a kind in the province of Alberta, and even so much as in Canada. We actually have a care center property right now that's the subject of much debate between the province and the community, and it's still up in the air, but it looks like we're going to be able to move it to saving it and not having it demolished. It's 98 years old this year, and it's the last standing agricultural school in all of Canada, and that's phenomenal, and it's a beautiful building. So we're really working hard to bring restoration to that facility. Actually, September 14th, we're having an open house, and we're inviting the residents to come and attend our historical resource open house. We've just done helping with Donald Luxton and Associates out of Calgary, have done 17 statements of significance on important historical factors, properties here in Raymond. One of them being that we were built on the Plat of Zion. And so it meant that everything was on a wagon wheel shape. So it started here in the center and went out on a wagon wheel plan. And that's a very unique layout for a community, and we actually still have houses built on that Plat of Zion layout. And so we're focusing on how does that make us unique, how does it make it special, and we just have so many great stories to tell. Like, that would be, to me, if I would love to come and learn, and if I had stories to tell from my family, to come and share them, because that's the open house, is to gather information and to share stories. And we're not anything going forward in the future if we don't recognize where we came from, and that's Raymond's goal, is always recognizing where we've come from and how excited we are to go on.
And if you were to visit the town of Raymond, where would you suggest somebody to go and check out here in the town?
Wow. Well, for one thing, I would come right here to our community center. Fabulous building. The library here is amazing. We also have a theater, and it's so historic that it's just, I get lots of comments throughout the province when I'm at meetings in other places that say, we've been to your community center, it's amazing. We have a beautiful museum. The volunteers work so hard, and it's a great facility and lots of information there. We have a fantabulous pool that's so fun. We have the Victoria Sports Park. There's a workout center there that we actually have people from Lethbridge that are joining because it's such a great facility and is so well run. And we have teams coming from all across Alberta to play here because it's an amazing field. And so we have a fabulous golf course. We have Parrot Park where there's, water. We have, wow, trying to think of where other places that I might suggest people could go.
You have a motocross as well?
True story, on Temple Hill. On July 1st in particular, they have national championships out on Temple Hill where they come from across Canada to compete in the motocross championships. So that also is a great place for people to visit and come into town. We've got good grocery stores and good restaurants, and get your snacks and supplies and gas stations, and we've got seniors facilities, we've got hospital. I can't think of anything we don't have. We don't have a hotel, but we've got some bed and breakfast, so we're working on it.
And what would you say the biggest employer is here in the town of Raymond?
Well, I know that the town itself employs a lot of people. Probably definitely not the biggest employer. Someone actually posted on my Facebook page that they had done a bit of research and said that Alberta Health Services and Westwind School Division were probably two of the largest employers. Well, as I mentioned, we have an amazing medical facility, and I didn't mention, but should have, that we have amazing school systems here too, and great teachers. So I think those are our largest employers, and I don't think that's a negative for us, because that just indicates how amazing we are to have these things here and that people care so much.
So what, in your opinion, keeps people in the town of Raymond as opposed to moving to the big city?
Wow, that's like a multifaceted question. I think one of the things is I know my neighbors. I know who they are, I care about them. When something unusual is happening on my street, I recognize that. And so there's less chance of negative things happening. When you go to an event here, it's not like going to a giant city event. You meet people you know, and maybe you live in the same town, but you don't always have opportunities to visit. In the city, you go to things not knowing who the person is sitting beside you. I personally have a yard that's an acre big. That's a fabulous thing. I can't imagine living in a place that I could share sugar through my kitchen window with my neighbor. And that's what I see in the big cities. We actually in Raymond have laws, our land use bylaws make us have large yards, because we don't want to have that house on top of house feeling. It's a great place for people to volunteer. We have a volunteer fire department that's second to none. We have volunteers on our committees. We have services that are small town services, not, I don't know who you are and I don't know how to help you. It's like, oh my goodness, I recognize you have a problem and I want to be there and help solve your problem. We have people invested in our community on our councils, and I'm going to meet you in the grocery store. I had someone say the other day, well, when you're in a big city, you don't really know who you're voting for, really. It's just names on signs. Here, I'm going to meet you in the grocery store. I'm going to meet you at the pharmacy. We're going to be side by side at an event. It just changes the whole complexion, and our costs, honestly, are less. People can come here from a big city, sell their property for $1 gazillion, and come buy a nice lot, build a beautiful home, and have money left to do something else. That's where a lot of our new people come from, is actually moving out of the big cities because they're tired of the rat race. And we're only 20, 30 minutes from Lethbridge, so it's not like we're 100 miles away from another service like that a city might offer that might not be available here.
And would you say that Raymond is growing quite rapidly?
We have a pretty continual growth. This year we went down a little bit, but we changed our method of doing census, which gathered information differently. So it was a very slight difference. I actually don't see that as a negative. It just means we're tidying up things that might have been, confusing before. And as we move more to the online census system, we'll be better in track of that. But there are very few communities that have continued to grow with residents like Raymond has, and that also makes us special.
Well, that's all the questions I have for you today. Thanks for taking your time to come and be our guest on Where You Live. And we will be back after the break. Welcome back to Where You Live. I am your host, Paige Hudson, and I'm here with my next guest, Faye Geddes. She is the manager of the public library here in Raymond, where we are at right now. So let's just jump right in. Faye, tell me, what is the Raymond Community Center?
The Raymond Community Center is a large building here in Raymond, and it houses the library, the town offices, and a theater.
Tell me a little bit about the history of the building.
This building is very unique. It was built back in 1939 by the LDS people, the Second Ward here in Raymond. And the uniqueness of this building is at the time, the headquarters down in Salt Lake did not give them any money to build it. And so the people here in town rallied together. They did bazaars and suppers and things to raise all the money to build this building. And they put in all the work to do the brickwork and everything inside. The architect of this building was F.B. Rolfson, who also did the architecture of a few other buildings in southern Alberta. This building is known for its high vaulted ceilings, its stained glass windows, which are just beautiful. And the woodwork was second to none in southern Alberta. It's a very beautiful building. We're lucky to have it.
And how old is the building?
It was built in 1939, and it was used as an LDS church up until 1986 or 87. At which time the town bought the building and renovated it for 10 years. And in 1996, the grand opening happened here with the library here and the offices. The theater had previously been opened, I think in 1993, under the Raymond Playhouse Society.
And is the building unique in any way?
The building is built on a three-wing pattern with a round rotunda in the center. The woodwork was all made out of oak. And so when the town council at the time had their vision of what this building would be, they kept most of the original in here. And this particular room that we're in, the library, was actually a social hall. So basically a gym with a stage. And the councilman at the time wanted to make more room for books, and so they designed the beautiful balcony that you see behind us in the original oak to match the rest of the woodwork in the building.
So I've heard the library itself has some history here in Raymond. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I sure can. The library was started back in 1934, actually as a Sunday school library. A Sunday school decided people in town needed to read. It was during the Depression, so most people couldn't afford to buy books on their own. So they decided to pool their resources, and everyone brought their books to Town Hall, which was actually in the building where the museum in Raymond is now. And that's where the library started, was in Town Hall. It quickly grew, and they put an addition on Town Hall. And then when the town purchased this building, it was decided that the library would be showcased very well here in this beautiful building.
And what does the future hold for the building? Any plans for renovations or changes?
The unique character of this building is it's a historic building, and so the renovations and expansions that we're allowed to do are very few. Our focus here in this building is to maintain the beauty of the history of the building and the architecture that's here. So even the offices and things that are built here can be removed so that the natural building remains the same.
Well, that's all the questions I have for you today. Thanks for taking your time to come and be our guest on Where You Live. And we will be back after the break. Welcome back to Where You Live. I'm your host, Paige Hudson, and we're here with Brooklyn Thompson at the wonderful Aquatic Center in Raymond, Alberta. Now, Brooklyn, tell me, when did the renovations for the swim pool take place?
2009.
Nice. And what is your favorite feature about the swim pool?
I like the rock wall we have there. I feel like it's different. Not every pool has that. I like that a lot.
Nice. And you are a lifeguard here?
Yeah.
Great. Do you have a lot of people from outside of the community coming to attend the pool here?
Yeah, there's quite a bit from like Sterling, McGrath, Lethbridge, Cardston, quite a bit from other towns too.
And what features does the pool have in general that people can expect when they come here?
Well, we have 2 diving boards, we have a rock wall, and 2 very fun slides.
Great. And lots of grass area to lay out as well?
Yeah, the kids love running on that. They always.
So are there classes or lessons offered at the swim pool?
Yeah, we offer them in the summer. We offer private and just general swim lessons.
And where could somebody go to find more information about that?
They can go to the Raymond website.
Thank you so much, Brooklyn, for taking the time to talk to me. This is Where You Live, and I'm your host, Paige Hudson. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Where You Live. I'm your host, Paige Hudson, and we're in the town of Raymond. Until next time.